not really a reading series because I'm not making fun of the person who wrote it, but definitely making fun of the people profiled in it. There's an amazing article in the Times this week about, are you guys familiar with the Esalen Institute? Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay.
Also sounds like a Mormon name.
Yeah.
The Esalen Institute is this like basically extremely upscale like hippie commune in Big Sur, California that's like a sort of hotel / vacation spot for sort of rich hippies. Okay?
Yeah, insidious, deeply insidious.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like beautiful right on the Pacific Coast in Big Sur. It's like this, like you know, exquisite getaway for a certain kind of person. And there is an article in the Times about the Esalen Institute and how everyone from Silicon Valley is going there to basically
Get their blood replaced?
center themselves. No, just like get their spirit replaced.
Okay, but there's also something, we can all agree, they're eating children. Or
50 feet below the rock, that's the blood chamber.
Yeah.
So I just want to start reading from this here. It says, where Silicon Valley is going to get in touch with its soul. Okay?
Oh, that's an optimistic assumption.
So it says, Silicon Valley, facing a crisis of the soul, has found a retreat center. It has been a hard year for the tech industry. Prominent figures like Sean Parker and Justin Rosenstein, horrified by what technology has become, have begun to publicly denounce companies like Facebook that made them rich. And so Silicon Valley has come to the Esalen Institute, a storied hippied hotel here on the Pacific coast of Carmel, California. After storm damage in the spring and a skeleton crew in the summer, the Institute was fully reopened in October with a new director and a new mission. It will become home for technologists to reckon with what they have built. Moving on here, it says, Esalen's last year has been apocalyptic. 3 landslides in the spring took out roads on all sides, and participants in a massage workshop had to be evacuated from a hilltop by helicopter. When the Institute was closed...
And when you get an accidental happy ending.
It was losing $1 million a month. Its board made big changes. When the road reopened in October, the place had a new executive director, Ben Tauber, and its new mission. There's a dawning consciousness emerging in Silicon Valley as people recognize that their conventional success isn't necessarily making the world a better place, said Mr. Tauber, 34, a former Google product manager and startup executive coach. The CEOs, inside, they're hurting. They can't sleep at night.
Are you okay? You know, you should make the world a better place. Go into your garage and tell your Google Home to start your car.
Oh, that's why they have a Tesla.
Yeah, they don't kill themselves. Put the Tesla in your bathtub and end your fucking life.
Alexa, turn on the warm water. Alexa, play some song by Elliott Smith.
So it says, Mr. Tauber has some competition. A former chief executive of Juniper Networks, Scott Kreens, opened his own tech and soul center nearby in May, with construction finishing in February. The goal of that center, called, I'm not making this up, 1440 Multiversity, is to recognize that the blazing success of the internet catalyzed powerful connections, yet did not help people connect to themselves.
I just thought that, like, when Aeon Flux was real, people would be more attractive.
Still, there is likely enough crisis to go around. Mr. Tauber has stacked Esalen's calendar with sessions by Silicon Valley leaders, which are selling out. The new sessions in 2018 are aimed at the workers building virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and social networks.
You can just park your Tesla right on somebody's farm, and there's a charging station right there.
They wonder if they're doing the right thing for humanity, Mr. Tauber said. These are questions we can only answer behind closed doors.
We can only decide if we're good from humanity without any input from humanity.
Yeah.
I just need to be able to lie back and put on a stem cell face mask and talk with my fellow fucking ghouls about maybe we shouldn't draw enough power to fucking mine Bitcoin that the entire Earth is going to melt in 15 months.
But, like, this is just like Bohemian Grove for people who started out thinking they were doing good, whereas, like, Bohemian Grove is just like, gentlemen, to evil.
Yeah, I love it. It's so much better. Right?
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove is so much fucking better. You set fire to the owl. You cart in a bunch of hookers. You're getting drunk and pissing on trees trees next to former presidents. These fucking people are wearing jumpsuits and drinking fucking smoothies.
Here we go.
And they're nerds.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Yeah, it's like you can't summon Moloch with a roller backpack.
But I love these people who are, billionaire tech entrepreneurs and venture capitalists are just like, I look at the world today and I just can't help but feel in some small way responsible.
I also love that these people can do literally whatever they want, but they just want to live the rest of their lives like they're still in a magnet school.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the most fucked up thing when I was reading this, is that these people have all this wealth, and they're phenomenally wealthy, that they can have 2 weeks to themselves at probably I would say Carmel Breaks are probably the most beautiful part of America. Yeah,
too.
they
could do all kinds
just
of things.
Go on a vacation.
They're
where
Carmela Soprano.
Go on a vacation where you don't have to fucking consider your soul, where you just go jet skiing or fucking.
They don't understand leisure.
Eat shrimp every day.
It's wasted on the
exactly.
rich. It's terrible. I miss, and Felix and I have discussed this. I miss when the bourgeoisie really just tore it up. Because that's something that you can identify with. You're like, yeah, I want to eat 700 oysters and then just have a hooker burp me.
Yeah.
But the danger of that is that's how you get the thing you get the relatable billionaire, and then you have fucking Trump as president.
Right.
Because he does it right.
But
if I was rich, I'd act like that. I'd have gold-plated everything. I'd fuck my daughter.
There are more examples that I'm going to get in here, but when I was reading this, I just couldn't escape the idea that these people, like you said, Amber, they can't just go to a vacation in beautiful Big Sur, California, and just fuck around and do drugs, or just fucking go swimming or sit in a natural hot spring.
Losers.
They have to fucking imagine that they're bettering themselves and the world and finding their soul or something like that. And it's just you don't have one. You wouldn't be working at Google if you did.
Yeah, and
so don't worry about it.
Even if there wasn't a spiritual component to this, they would still have an activities director.
Yeah.
They want to be at summer camp. They're fucking nerds.
I want to do one more here. It says, the bar serves kombucha, coconut water, wine, and beer. Sitting and having a cold kombucha one recent evening was Bodhi Kalajane, 47, who lives in Big Sur, wears flip-flops, and has shaggy gray blonde hair. It's about putting Silicon Valley back in their bodies, he said. Everyone's got a soul. It's about finding it. Gopi Khalil, the chief evangelist of brand marketing at Google, was running late from work to the class he would host at Esalen called Connect to Your Internet. Get it?
Oh, my fucking God.
Watch out, Mike. They're coming for your job.
Imagine showing this article to a nurse or a truck driver or something,
Yeah.
They're like, no, you got to be whole before you go out in the world. And,
This is going to be season 7 of The Wire. It was going to be all the guys left on the drug commission going what change are we affecting in the world?
I would like to take this class about what is it? Jamming an Ethernet cable in your dick hole? What is it about?
The internet.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Internet.
Yeah, that's it.
The internet schedule is loosely packed. The next morning there would be mindful walking, mindful eating, reimagining work and life integration, then compassion practice, self-compassion, and finally yoga. After dinner, there would be work on envisioning lives as they are and as they want them to be. Then Mr. Khalil would lead some chanting. One of the portals we use to put the technology for the body at peak performance is music, he said. Sierra will play the flute, Jenny the violin.
Do they mean Sierra like Future's ex?
God,
the Compassion Project is when you go to Whole Foods, make eye contact with the single mother who's ringing up your...
No, make eye contact with the avocado you're about to buy. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
So listen to this.
Ask your blood boy how school is going.
Every morning is Dance Awake, a chakra meditation and guitar class where Esalen guests dance across a large hardwood floor.
People are definitely getting sexually abused in this. Every time, they've done
True Detective
quite a
season
few. They've done quite a few books on the kind of plastic guru phenomenon of the 60s and 70s, when people became really obsessed with
and commune living as well was a nightmare of abuse too.
And anytime you hear this language of whatever togetherness morning, someone is getting raped.
Listen here. I just sold my startup and need a place to reflect, said Sam McBride, age 31 from Chicago.
You're going to get raped. That's what's going to happen.
No, but that's the thing it harkens to the 60s because these people have inherited the ethos of the 60s, which is personal virtue. Not, the politics has nothing to do with collective anything. It is a personal search for personal virtue by acting and doing well in the world to the degree that reflects well on you as a person. And so you can now be a fucking corporate rating piece of shit who builds apps that subvert people's privacy and hyper exploit labor and fucking undercut regulation and just do massive transfers of wealth. But it's okay as long as you think you're a good person because you jam some fucking kumquats up your ass and you fucking
here's another testimonial.
eat vegan.
Here's another testimonial from Marina Kurakina. She says, "I was tired of my life. I represented Latin American art at a gallery in London. Now I teach creative subconscious painting."
Oh yeah. It's been such a change for me. I used to be the
I had a
art.
fake bullshit job, and now I have a faker bullshitter job.
I used to be the main art buyer for Venezuelan democracy activist Mengele de Hitler, and now,
So let's not knock
now-
fake bullshit jobs.
Hey, we know exactly what we do. We keep people comfortable while they're on their commute.
Mr. Tauber, who we mentioned is the new director of Esalen, had previously founded a real-time celebrity geo-stalking service called Just Spotted when Google hired him in 2011.
Wait, real time as in it only stalks celebrities who went on real time with Bill Maher? Because I would like to subscribe.
Let me open up this app.
This is exactly like the subplot in Silicon Valley where they accidentally made something that facilitated pedophiles and it just never occurred to them.
Okay, I got it. Donald Trump turned down an invitation to the Silicon Valley Mindfulness Seminar this week because he realized it would require a mind.
Real time.
Did I actually that app they were talking about, the celebrity stalking app?
Yeah.
I think I actually saw a commercial for that. It had the lady who shot Selena, and she said, "If I had these before, my life would have been so much easier."
Hold on, I got another. Donald Trump today went to Silicon Valley. When told about angel investors, he said, "How do they get into the conference room with their wings?"
Start the clock. Real time. Bill.
Okay.
All right. This is my one last hate paragraph from the Esalen Institute, and it's a doozy. It says, upstairs, the internet class was doing a compassion exercise.
That's the worst sentence I've ever heard in my life, including your father is dead.
They just mean space docking.
Everyone spent 10 minutes looking into a stranger's eyes and silently repeating phrases like, "This person has emotions just like me. This person has experienced pain and suffering just like me. This person will die just like me. They were barefoot. Some were wrapped in coarse blankets."
So you're telling me that a bunch of Silicon Valley people had to have a class to teach them other people are real? I'm shocked.
I love spending like 5 years of my life, starting at age 26, just putting the lowest level of service workers out of business in the Bay Area, and then being like, I didn't know what I was doing, and then putting on like a special steel wool blanket and holding another fucking robot's hand and going, "It's okay that you called a girl thug during sex. It's okay that you Googled Jessica Rabbit sexy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you sing along that word when you rap. We all do it. We're all going to die. We're all living. We're all breathing. I love you. We're here
Matt.
now. We're all eating this. We're all drinking the special mindfulness juice. It's just a juicy juice with some seaweed sprinkled into it. I love you. We're here right now. We're never going to die, actually."
Matt, remind me, who is the protagonist of Vonnegut's Breakfast of Champions? Dwayne
The Rock Johnson. No. Dwayne Hoover.
Dwayne Hoover.
Yes.
The compassion exercises are designed for Dwayne Hoover.
Yeah. Everyone
He
else
literally
isn't a
believes
robot.
Everyone is a robot
Yeah.
but him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be teaching a 2-week seminar at the Esalen Institute early next year on podcasting, self-casting. It's called.
And mindful.
We're
Talking
gonna
to your
make you wear a full body hair shirt, and then we're just gonna wedge you with it.
I'm gonna, if you spent a good portion of your life just humiliating people for fake money for a company that never made a profit and you're a billionaire for some reason, I will go up to you and I will go, instead of subscribing, how about domscribing to your life feed of the podcast?
Yeah, for a mere $5 million, I promise to put you in a suit of armor and kick you down a very long flight of stairs.
All right, so to close out this week's show, I want to get to this piece that was one of my favorite things that I've read recently. This was right before the new year. This is a profile done in the New York Times about the latest trend that is sweeping the Valley and all of the smartest people in the world. Of course, I'm talking about the raw water movement. What is raw water, you may ask? It's basically untreated water that is now being sold for like $60 a gallon to some of the most gullible shitheads in the world. In the New York Times, this is an article by Nellie Bowles from December 29th of last year. Headline, Unfiltered Fervor, the rush to get off the water grid. Now, keep in mind when you read this article,
The water grid.
we can be very critical of the society we live in. Society is bullshit, as
Fiona Apple once said,
Fiona Apple
this
once
world is
said.
bullshit.
The world is bullshit.
Love that girl.
Our civilization is evil. However, I feel pretty confident in saying I think one of the things that we can be proud of as a civilization is the fact that basically, well, in most of the parts of the country, you can turn on a faucet and get water that you can drink and not die.
Yeah. The fact that there are so many parts of this country that have bad water, that have leaded water, like Flint and countless other communities, that's bad. That's something that we should fix because it is genuinely a miracle of modern civilization that we have created this network that allows us access to this life-giving so that we don't shit ourselves to death.
Hey guys, welcome to Life Hacker. You know those weird faucets and drains you have in your apartment? They're not just decorative. You can use it to clean the dirt off your disgusting nude body. You could even wear a bathing suit if you want. Or you can put it into what's called a cup and drink it so you don't die. This has been Life Hacker.
So,
Because like this is a thing that all it needs is more money and more investment. It doesn't need to be reinvented. It actually works if we would just fucking fund it.
free motherfucking water. Shout out to Joe Yu, by the way, my new favorite person on the internet. So keep that in mind. Like, you've maybe been taking for granted the fact that you can turn on a faucet in your house and have water that you can wash yourself with, you can drink, you can cook with it. It's right there.
You can pour it out on the ground.
So just leave it
You can
running.
do whatever the
It's
fuck you want with it.
Okay.
You can freeze it and put it in other beverages.
Here's a little Easter egg. If you got what's called a foreskin, you can dip your penis into a container of water and clean
You
the
can peel
lint.
that baby back.
Peel it back. Just you take all the gunk out of there. You know the gunk in there. You can take it out
Done
using
and done.
water.
Buff that hog up.
In San Francisco and the Valley, they have a different idea. So I'm just going to start reading from this article. At Rainbow Grocery, a cooperative in this city's Mission District, one brand of water is so popular that it's often out of stock. But one recent evening, there was a glittering rack of it. Glass orbs containing 2.5 gallons of what is billed as raw water. Unfiltered, untreated, unsterilized spring water. $36.99 each and $14.99 per refill.
That's
Bottled-
right. Fatty Arbuckle took a bath in this.
My glistening orbs of water.
Yeah, I like those little specks of lint and dead skin in there. They're like little flavor crystals. It's like Goldschlager water.
Here we go. It has a vaguely mild sweetness and a nice smooth mouthfeel.
Yeah, that's the
Shut
cholera.
up.
Oh yeah, that's the electrolytes from the fat guy that took a bath in it.
Nothing that overwhelms the flavor profile, said Kevin Freeman, a shift manager at the store. Bottled water is controversial. We've curtailed our water selection, but this is totally outside that whole
This isn't
realm.
a bottle. It's a glistening orb.
Yeah.
Here on the West Coast and in other pockets of stupidity around the country, many people are looking to get off the water grid. Like we said, that amazing thing that allows us to like live and have like a clean, amazing society.
But anybody gets to do it. The thing is, these people are violently opposed to any kind of social good. They hate anything that everybody gets, because then they're not special. Remember fucking Elon Musk talking about how awful public transportation is?
Yes.
You're surrounded by just anybody. Ew, look at these other people. They hate that. They're special, perfect beings of genius, and they should not have to drink the same water as every other fucking subnormal schlub that they have nothing but contempt for. The hogs, the fucking future cattle that they just want to basically turn into batteries and organ farms.
They don't enjoy any sense of kind of community or collectivism, and I hate the idea of community in the way that it's normally used. But the fact that you can get on a bus and basically look around and see Sesame Street, except one or two people smells like piss, is like an actual wonderful human part of living in an urban center. And these people don't like that part.
No, they want to be carried around in a jet-propelled little crystal ball. Everybody can look at
They
them
would be Glinda the Good
as they
Witch.
tootle around the town in their floating ball,
their water orb.
their little water orb, floating through the town, so everyone could look at them and be like, "That's a special
By the
genius.
way-
That guy knows how to code."
Yeah, it says Liquid Eden offers a variety of options, including fluoride-free, chlorine-free, and mineral electrolyte alkaline drinking water that goes for $2.50 a gallon. Well, what adherents share is a wariness of tap water, particularly the fluoride added to it and the lead pipes that some of it passes through. They contend that the wrong kind of filtration removes beneficial minerals. Even traditional bottled spring water is treated with ultraviolet light or ozone gas and passed through filters to remove algae. What?
Yeah,
They're
isn't that
stealing
cool?
my algae?
Isn't that cool? By the way, do you know why the toothless hillbilly stereotype exists? Because there's no fucking fluoride in that water, and they lose their fucking teeth before they're 40. Both of my grandparents had dentures in their early 40s.
Yeah, but-
fluoride is good as hell.
But what were
Children's
their
ice cream, Amber.
what were their pH levels? I bet they were better than
Well,
yours.
Amber, you say that, but once they remove all that helpful algae, they say these filters they kill healthful bacteria, probiotics in raw water parlance.
It's not sauerkraut, you dumb shits. It's water.
There's yogurt.
That's yogurt.
There's
You're talking about yogurt.
There's kimchi for that.
I love going to a restaurant and having tap water and being like, sir, there's none of the algae or raccoon jizz that I usually enjoy in my water. Come on, I know the owner.
Not everything can be probiotic.
No.
No, everything should be I live a probiotic lifestyle.
Listen to
You
this.
just eat fish shit every day to keep healthy.
But the off-grid water movement has become more than the fringe phenomenon it once was, referring,
No,
of course,
it
to the
hasn't.
John Bircher movement of the 1950s and General Jack D. Ripper.
That's what I love about this is that these are the most sexless, super optimized LinkedIn human beings, but they in practice they're the same as Birchers, who were the coolest Americans,
American
they're-
heroes.
Yeah, they're the same as the people who were like, the Jews are putting Jack Parr on television, trying to turn me gay with his wink.
So it says here, more than the fringe phenomenon it once was, with a sophisticated marketing, cultural cachet, millions of dollars in funding, and influential supporters from Silicon Valley. One recent morning in the hills of Berkeley, California, Cody Friesen, the founder and chief executive of Zero Mass Water, was inspecting water collection panels he had installed for his investor, Skip Battle, a longtime tech leader who now sits on the boards of LinkedIn, Netflix, and OpenTable. This is like a sort of thing that collects water from the atmosphere and through solar panels, which I guess is kind of cool if you're trying to live off the grid in general. But like, as a consumer
that's not
product,
cool, and you shouldn't live off the grid. Live with people. Be a part of society.
okay, here we go. This is where
Don't
it gets
write a
really good.
manifesto. It will never be as good as that one.
Oh my God, so good.
It's so good.
These people want to be Big Ted so bad, and they never will be.
Nobody can touch him.
Big Ted,
Here's where it gets-
absolute king.
Here's where it says it's really good. Mr. Battle poured himself a glass. The water from the tap just doesn't taste quite as refreshing, he said. Now, is that because I saw it come off the roof and anything from the roof feels special? Maybe.
What?
It's roof water.
Oh, that classic thing where you're like, it just tastes better if I found it on the roof.
Everything's better off the roof.
What's this great rotisserie you're making? Oh, it's this pigeon that fell into my storm gutter.
It's roof chicken.
Yeah, that's why I replaced all the plates in my house with Spanish tile for my roof.
Yeah, this guy saw the movie title Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and was like, that sounds delicious.
Here's where it gets really, really good. This is a callback. The most prominent proponent of raw water is Doug Evans, a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. Surprising. After his juicing company, Juicero, collapsed in September.
King.
You might not remember Juicero, the company,
How could we
the $500 juice machine that literally does with squeezing the bag. His company collapsed because it was fucking stupid and had no reason to exist, and then he was exposed for that, like so many of these other dipshits who, like the blood baron herself, Elizabeth Bathory 2.0, will never suffer any negative consequences. They're coming back with Juicero.
Personal responsibility does not exist in Silicon Valley.
I finally figured out Juicero, like the why they thought that it would be a machine.
Why?
Because they only drink juice, they all have pellagra, and they don't have the physical strength to crush it themselves.
That's true. Not enough protein.
He goes, okay, check this out. So after Juicero collapsed in September, he went on a 10-day cleanse, drinking nothing but live water. I haven't tasted tap water in a long time, he said. Before he could order raw water on demand, Mr. Evans went spring hunting with friends. This has become more challenging lately. The closest spring around San Francisco has recently been cut off by landslides. So reaching it means crossing private property, which he does under cover of night.
Just getting murked by a property owner so that you
have to be
drink
agile.
some dew off of a leaf.
Yeah, you have to be agile and tactile and be available to experiment, he said. Literally, you have to carry bottles of water through the dark. I want to see like a David Attenborough documentary where they do that cool night vision. They're like, this is now a Silicon Valley VC. He's approaching a cactus to get its dewy moisture. It's one of his only clean water sources.
I want to see this be the new Metal Gear Solid. Just replace the beloved Big Boss and Solid Snake characters with like a guy that invents styluses.
Here we go.
I wonder if some of it is I do think we have like a human desire for struggle, and these people don't have any
Viktor Frankl, baby.
in their lives, and so instead of plugging into ruling the world or anything like that, they create a weird survival fantasy in their head where they're like, oh, I have to get to the good water that I will never die if I drink it.
Yeah.
If I have the roof tar and bird shit, then I will never die.
So we've already gotten Juicero and a lot of off Silicon Valley VC bullshit. Let's bring in another utterly repellent and awful cultural phenomenon into this mix. You ready for this? At Burning Man, the summer festival in Nevada that attracts the Digerati and others, Mr. Evans and his RV mate brought 50 gallons of spring water they had collected. I'm extreme about health, I know, but I'm not alone with this, Mr. Evans said. There are a lot of people doing this with me. You'll never know what you run into at the spring. What I find interesting about this is like these are like California ideology, Silicon Valley utopians, and they're going to Burning Man, this big hippie love fest in the desert. But the core of all of their beliefs and like their obsession with like purity and taking health serious is extremely reactionary. There's something very right wing about all this. It's like Hitler Youth or something. Like
absolutely.
It's back to nature,
It's-
kind of like
it's the-
Jugendrein or something.
Yeah, it's also this very like Rousseauian understanding of what purity is, and it's like, no, science brings you purity.
Well, yeah, it's like the Teutonic myth.
Yeah.
So-
I am drinking from a mountain spring
Yeah,
that has been poisoned by the Jew.
we listened to Wagner the entire trip to Burning Man. Okay,
We
so
all love Wagner.
here we go.
This is a Wagner podcast.
The
now.
founder
Wagner
of
rocks.
Livewater. The founder of Livewater, Mukhan Singh, started selling spring water from Opal Springs in Culver, Oregon 3 years ago, but it was a small local operation until this year. Marketing materials show Mr. Singh, original name Christopher Sanborn, sitting naked and cross-legged on a hot spring.
Wait,
His
did he
long
just-
I'm South Asian now. Okay?
Excuse me.
Did
his
he
lo-
do the reverse Bobby Jindal? What the fuck?
He did.
Sitting naked, cross-legged on a hot spring, his long brown hair overflowing. Okay, you guys want
I'm
to see a
looking at a
picture
picture
of
of this-
Mukhan?
Yeah,
no, it's right here.
Dime.
Here's Mukhan.
Oh.
Here's Christopher Sanborn, a.k.a. Mukhan Singh. Okay, so it says here, pure water can be obtained by using a reverse osmosis filter. Mr. Singh, a.k.a. Mr. Sanborn, says real water should expire after a few months.
What?
Think about that.
Yeah.
This is a problem I've never had with water.
Yeah, well, the
Sort of-
idea is it's supposed to be a durable asset
Yeah.
that it could be
I
stored.
mean, it's literally one of the most chemically uncomplex substances
Yeah.
that
It's-
is available in large
Oh, that's
quantities. on
what
Earth.
happens after the man strips it down. If you're drinking real water that has a dead rat in it, steeping like tea.
Wait a minute. You don't have to chew your water? Oh.
So he goes,
Can I have your most pulpy water?
The thing
home
is,
style water.
I love the.
it's the curds that have all the nutrition.
Yeah.
I like
My mom used to leave all the pebbles in the water, so I grew up to be so tall.
So he goes, real water should expire. His does. It stays most fresh within one lunar cycle of delivery, he said.
Oh my God!
It all depends on the moon.
This guy rocks.
If it sits around too long, it'll turn green. People don't even realize that because all their water is dead, so they never see it turn
Yes,
green.
I want dead water.
I want dead water. I want water that will
doesn't turn
hydrate me.
green.
I don't want to get typhoid.
I want to get a fucking moose's bathwater sold to me by a guy with ass length hair and a goatee who hands my $70 water to me and goes,
these
have a powerful, magnificent cycle.
Here's, by the way, that's speaking of the word cycle, I am dying to know this man's insights into menstruation because
Amber,
you know they're good.
Amber, you ask. I'm about to tell you.
Oh my God, this is the best
I'm
day.
about to tell you. Mr. Singh believes that public water has been poisoned. Tap water, you're drinking toilet water with birth control drugs in it. So like, I love that. Like, there's nothing more
Yeah, put it
disgusting.
right in the water. I need that shit.
He's like, I love that. Like, there's nothing more disgusting for him than birth control drugs.
Oh, it's-
like I said, these guys are all low key reactionaries.
Yeah.
Like, they're just missing. Like, there's 1 degree of difference between these people and the trad cats people who want to live in the Hobbit
Yes.
village.
It's
Yes.
anti-society.
It's
Yeah.
anti-modernist. It's anti-society.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Silicon Valley has often been accused of trying to bring back feudalism, and a real piece of evidence for that is their insistence on trying to bring back medieval diseases.
Yeah.
He goes-
well, one of the interesting things, like you look at how Mao realized he couldn't actually develop the countryside as quickly as he wanted to. So he was like, well, okay, we can't build a hospital here, but you can use traditional Chinese medicine. And these people are like, what's that? I don't think that's a thing. No, your grandmother used to do this. Yeah, okay, your leg, it's rotting off. But there's a type of lizard, and you'll be completely fine. And this is what people try to sell to poor people when they either don't want to or find themselves unable to provide them with the supports of modernity.
And now instead we have bored rich people deciding to cosplay as medieval peasants.
Yep. I hope they all fucking die.
certainly.
Like, I hope they die.
Because, like, Edwin Burke used to say that, like, there was a value to rich people accumulating wealth because then they were able to display it to people in a way that was aesthetically pleasing and inspiring. Splendor that everyone could enjoy, even though it was controlled by just a few rich people. These motherfuckers don't even want to do that. They just want to recreate the lifestyles of a fucking like a shack dweller in Mumbai or something like that. They want to fucking eat Soylent and shit their guts out from fucking chunky green water.
It's a deranged fantasy that has always befallen the upper classes during times of extreme wealth inequality too, where they both kind of fantasize about this bucolic pre-modern era and also try and make it elite so it's unavailable to actual poor people.
Yeah, at
it's like the
$40
same
a
thing.
gallon.
It's the same thing with the Victorians when they're like, we're gonna shove cornflakes up our ass so that we can stop masturbating to our cousins.
Yes.
Yeah. Like they had these deranged ideas about health because they had this generalized kind of anxiety and alienation because they're like, another child got eaten up by an industrial loom in my factory today. Better shove some more cornflakes up my ass.
These guys are just John Harvey Kellogg reborn.
Yeah, their only social engagement is like going to special parties where like them and their rich friends eat oysters off of each other's pot bellies, and they're like, "Oh, I like feel weird all the time." I think the problem is that I have like a bad humor and Could somebody just make some like room temperature oatmeal that they pour down my urethra? I think that's the way to do it.
If all you want to do is drink pond water and eat fucking Soylent paste, you don't need $1 billion. They should just take all of their money. They don't need it.
But here's the thing. Mr. Singh says, in addition to the fact that tap water has birth control drugs in them, he says chloramine, and on top of that, they're putting in fluoride. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's a mind control drug that has no benefit to our dental health. It says, call me a conspiracy. It's a mind control drug that has no benefit to our dental health. And then in parentheses, it says, in the article, it says, there is no scientific evidence that fluoride is a mind control drug, but plenty to show that it aids dental health. So then it goes on where they talk to actual public health experts who are very disturbed by this new trend with good reason. And
I'm not, because normal people won't do it. It's only.
Well, I got a grand bargain for these motherfuckers.
It's not even like the vaccination stuff. It poses no.
It's true.
public health
It doesn't
threat.
hurt anyone else, which is so let's make a deal. Give them all of the bog water and runoff that they can drink, and then we take all of their money and we use it to modernize the water infrastructure for everybody else, and get all the lead out of the pipes, and give everybody else access to clean drinking water, dead water, and then they can drink all of the out of all of the acorns that they want to.
It's a hell of a bargain.
Yeah.
So they talked to one more person who's Vanessa Kumerl of Emeryville, California, who says, fluoride, it's a deathly toxic chemical. She does landscape design for large tech companies. Said she was an early adopter of raw water and has noted many of her clients following suit. They're health conscious people and understand the bigger picture of what's going on, she said. Everyone's looking for an edge. Nootropics, bulletproof coffee, better water.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, like we want some...
Hold on a sec. The health benefits, she reported, include better skin and the need to drink less water. My skin's plumper, she said, and I feel like I'm getting better nutrition from the food I eat.
See, that malaria gives you a nice bloat before you shit out everything.
You know what also makes your skin plumper? When you drown and your body stays in a lake for a week. My friends who drink spring water, when they come over now, they're like, oh yeah, give me the good stuff, said Amanda Thompson, a writer in San Francisco. The consciousness around water is changing. This is all real. This is not like, oh.
Yeah, you can't really parody these people.
The moment we live in is truly historically significant, and I hope T. Jackson Lears lives long enough to write about it in the same way that he wrote about the hysteria of the upper class Victorians.
Yeah, what this all boils down to is money poisoning.
Yeah.
These people have been poisoned by having too much fucking money.
Yeah.
And the only solution is to take it from them.
Yeah,
Listen to
it's
this.
for their own good.
Yes.
Raw water is such a nascent business that there's debate over what exactly to call the liquid. Daniel Vitalis hosts a podcast, Rewild Yourself, that promotes hunting for food and gathering water. It's a podcast that promotes the hunter-gatherer lifestyle.
That's cool. Why do you guys have to control billions of dollars of assets to do this shit?
Adding, what's it called again?
Rewild Yourself.
Rewild yourself.
He says he prefers the term unprocessed water, which echoes the idea of processed versus unprocessed food. I don't like raw water because it sort of makes you think of raw sewage, said Mr. Vitalis.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because it turns green after a week?
There's no way that's his fucking name.
When you say
probably not.
live water, that's going to trigger a lot of people who are into physics and biology. Is it alive? That's the end of the article.
The dumbest people on earth are going to be excited by your branding opportunity. Good God.
So
take their money. It's the only way to stop them from shitting their guts out in a culvert is to
You know
take
what?
their fucking money.
It's the problem's going to fix itself.
Yeah,
that would be
only
good.
if but not if they can
Fucking
inherit,
change
not
as
if
they
they can pass it on. They have
that
to
would
have
be
it
good.
taken from them.
I hope they all get Giardia, but like the problem is that these people are all extremely wealthy and have the ear of politicians and are quite powerful people in our society that I think are going to try eventually to disrupt our, water and transportation infrastructure
Oh, I don't
to make
think
us
so.
all
Because then
hunter-gatherers.
it won't be a luxury item.
I mean, that's true, but at the other, it has its own budget benefits because, hey, it would probably cost $1 trillion to fix America's pipes nationwide to get all the
fixing
lead out of
Flint
them.
is gonna be-
Just
yeah.
tell people to drink out of the sewer. Just drink out of the gutter as it comes off of your house.
Just get a long straw.
yeah.
No, Amber, I think your reference to Mao is the correct one, where it's just like we realize that like we can't, and by can't I mean we're not going to spend the money to upgrade our infrastructure or provide clean drinking water for everyone in the country. So just discover some ancient secret about live water and just tell everyone to drink out of fucking rain puddles.
Possibly.
We are returning again to the Gray Lady, the New York Times, in an absolute doozy of an article that I knew we had to do on the show as soon as I saw it. I guess this is sort of this would be a pairing with our live show in San Francisco when we did the article about the sort of utopian community in Montana that's being planned by a group of tech bros and
Yes.
the people who frequent it. This is an article that provides another peek inside the minds, lives, and spirits of Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur titans.
Yes.
Okay, fellas?
Our new philosopher king.
Yeah. The headline is Tech Elites Recreate Burning Man Inside Their Living Rooms. Like a modern... Okay, here. This is by Alex Williams. And the subhead is like a modern version of a medieval minstrel. A singer named Jess Magic is helping A-list entrepreneurs get in touch with their inner child in private songversations.
Ooh.
Songversations.
Ooh. I guess
Okay.
I don't feel so good.
Can you imagine where? Okay,
My tummy hurts.
Okay.
I'm getting faint.
Can I talk to Matt's tummy?
Oh, my
Let's
tummy
begin.
hurts.
I'm gonna need you to stop hurting my homie.
to Chad Moretta, a Silicon Valley app guru, the intimate salons of Jess Magic, a new age troubadour, are like drugs without taking anything.
Sounds
This is
great.
this is where we're at now. Rich people are getting high without taking drugs.
It's as much fun as just holding your breath for a long time.
Think
until
about
you
how
get lightheaded.
fucking lame that is.
You know how we just spent like 40 minutes talking about every depraved thing rich people do? This
There
is
you
how
go.
cursed the new generation of rich people are. They do just as much harm to the world, but they're like, we get high by listening to new low bass rhythms and open neural pathways to us. We've invented a new way of drinking water. Oh,
Between
God.
that and like the dark magic of Bohemian Grove or something, I would just take that. Give me the Hellfire
Give me
Club.
the Yellow
Here we
King.
go.
Off. Yeah, absolutely.
To Sanjeev Sidhu, a so-called software savant whose fortune was once estimated at over $6 billion.
Awesome.
Ms. Magic's invitation-only salons are the perfect escape from a business culture where one-upsmanship is crowding out our need to connect.
Damn, makes you think.
To Jason Silva, a tech futurist and
Brian's
TV
brother.
Gratatata.
Yeah, he started the app Grottator.
Send some shots to your fitted. Okay, Jason Silva, no, possibly related to Brian, is the tech futurist and TV personality. Her gatherings are a safe space for entrepreneurs who sacrifice friendships, relationships, and time only to realize that it's lonely at the top. Tech elites who are looking for more than extra zeros in their bank statements are finding it in an unlikely place. So-called songversations, emotion-heavy gatherings that combine philosophical rap sessions with improvised music run by a ukulele-strumming songstress who describes herself as a heartist.
Oh no.
So not only do we have songversations being coined here, but also the title heartist.
Why are you?
I'm not an
doing this to
artist.
us?
I'm a heartist.
You know,
Why are they doing this to us?
By the way,
I have to say, I kind of the people who are like giving these fucking Borg humans therapy with music and probably charging them like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like, good for
If
you.
this is
if
just-
you're getting over on them like this, good for you.
honestly, if Just Magic is like an elaborate con, and she was like,
Good for
you
her.
know,
But just them inflicting on us is just so enervating. I mean, can't you just hunt us from horseback for sport like your ancestors did? Why do you got to torture us like this, you rich fucks?
branded as soul salons. They import the cosmic explorer sensibility of Burning Man into the cozy living rooms of prominent entrepreneurs, where they sing freestyle on topics as diverse as environmental degradation and heartbreak. Think of it as a free jazz equivalent of an Esalen retreat.
I would love to.
Hold on a minute. I'm doing it right now.
The tech A-list is a curious place to land for Ms. Magic, 37, who speaks in the soothing tones of a massage therapist and divides her time between Cardiff, California and Bali, Indonesia. Despite her wood nymph aura, or maybe because of it, Ms. Magic has found herself in some button-down circles. In 2016, she performed at the Women Economic Forum in New Delhi and at a star-studded birthday party of her friend Ken Howery, a founder of PayPal, on Necker Island. God, again, we've talked about Nantucket
You're so
Island.
rich, you almost name your island the N-word.
We've talked on this episode about Nantucket, Jeffrey Epstein's private child sex abuse island, and now Necker Island. These rich people and their islands, man, it's getting out of control. He goes, I don't know if you'd call this a breakthrough, she said, but I got Peter Thiel to sing along and Elon Musk to smile.
Very cool.
That guy, fucking Thiel, Musk, the fucking PayPal sounds like it's where the Hellgate opened. Like somebody opened the lament configuration in the offices of PayPal in those early days. Those people are
by the
cursed
way,
Cenobites.
Yeah, we need Arnold to go back in time.
Yes.
And destroy PayPal. Like, think about where our world would be.
Yeah, go in there with a minigun.
So, okay, here we go. Ms. Magic, who seems to approach every topic with a sense of giddy wonder.
Oh, God.
Imagine knowing a person like that, though.
I don't want to imagine it.
Think of someone in your life who greets every day with childlike wonderment.
Leave me alone. I don't want to do that. No.
So she goes, as if she just fell in love 5 minutes ago, believes that her appeal is rooted in the spiritual hollowness so many business elites feel despite their wealth. No, sorry, your spiritual hollowness comes from your wealth.
Yes.
There is literally not any major religion in the world that doesn't teach some element of the fact that being rich separates you from God, or some sort of universal oneness, or however you want to put it. Wealth makes you a worse person.
Yes.
Every major religion holds that to be true. So no wonder these fucking assholes who are worth $6 billion because they invested in apps are feeling spiritually empty.
It's amazing. So
it's because you are.
Yeah, these guys go and they tour like the factory that their company is subletting in Beijing, and where they're making the materials, and that's what's giving them their astronomical fucking margins that have made these billions. And they're like touring the plants, and they see the people, and they see the suicide nets, and they hear, 4 last month. And then they come home and they go, God, I feel really empty and hollow inside. I feel like all of this is just nothing. I don't understand.
Yeah, time to fucking take Molly and or do whatever. I mean, I think maybe that's why these people are attracted to these a solution, new agey, vaguely Eastern spirituality, because. For all its flaws, at least Christianity, Jesus Christ literally said rich people can't get into heaven.
And they just get like a customized version of sort of a vague Eastern spirituality that beyond everything is totally accommodating to their lifestyle.
So listen to what
nothing. It's all within. Nothing you do changes anything.
Listen to what
I think it's like purely cultural because people have obviously found a way to square the circle of scriptures talking about wealth and being Mormon or being an American evangelical or a Catholic or whatever. I think it's more just like, it reminds me when Matt said that the equivalent of becoming a born again after a particularly horrible accusation or drunken escapade in California is you become a born again Buddhist.
Yeah.
This is it's just California bullshit. That's all it is.
Yes, it is. No, but that's the difference. They have a California bullshit that makes them have to they have to grapple with something that's ostensibly against their ethics. Other rich people don't. They don't care.
And that's not to say Buddhism is California bullshit, because it's not. It's that in the same way that like American Christianity is fucking American bullshit. This interpretation of being a tech douchebag who still has billions of dollars while pretending to be a Buddhist.
It got exposed to money,
bullshit.
and that's what curdles it all. So rusts the Hulk of all of it.
Listen to this. Ms. Magic, who seems to approach She's basically like an adult version of a children's birthday party performer. That's what this shit is. She's like a magician or someone who brings pets around to parties or makes you sing songs. This is like children's birthday parties. She says here, the finance and tech scene is still riding the waves of hyper masculine values, she said. Coffee to get through the day, alcohol to wind down, then sleeping pills at night to turn off the mind from all that they have going on. Yeah, you know that very macho thing where you drink coffee in the morning and then have a drink when you get home from work and then like need some sort of sleep aid to go to bed?
Yeah.
We're men's men, so we do that. But, to our lady listeners, they're probably not aware of such a thing of, being lashed to a job that taxes your sanity and needing chemical stimulants to be able to cope, to go either up, down, or asleep. That's hyper masculine. Okay, here is the kicker. Ms. Magic says, people forget that they are human beings rather than human doings.
Oh, my God.
Which is literally a verbatim quote from The Simpsons.
Brad Goodman.
This is Brad Goodman, who was a New Age guru on an episode of The Simpsons that is probably 30 years old at this point.
Yes.
Literally wrote that line for her.
As soon as you stop,
Listen to this, Matt.
Human being, you become a human.
Listen to this. It gets better. Enter the Soul Salon, which Ms. Magic calls a play date for your inner child. Basically, another line taken verbatim
Be
from
like
that
the
episode.
boy.
Be like the boy.
We like Roy.
Yeah. A play date for your inner child and performs as a gift, she said, although guests are invited to contribute in accordance with the value they feel received.
You do accept American Express.
So she goes here, the salons usually start with a theme. Say the emptiness of consumer culture.
Oh, weird.
As key phrases arise, Ms. Magic will begin strumming and humming, weaving those lines of dialogues into a lilting melody. The effect is vaguely akin to Joni Mitchell performing freestyle rap at Davos.
Wow.
The effect
I know what awful sentence will be stuck in my head replacing F-35 beast mode from earlier this week. I know what fucking virus is implanted in my frontal
saying it
lobe.
again.
I just got leukemia.
Don't say
I'm
it again.
saying it again.
Don't ever say it
Don't
again.
say it 3 times or we're fucked.
The effect is vaguely akin to
God.
Joni Mitchell performing
Oh, Jesus.
freestyle rap at Davos.
Don't say it again.
The
It'll be
effect
like
is
Evil
vaguely
Dead.
akin to Joni Mitchell performing freestyle rap
shit.
at
Matt,
Davos.
You idiot. You fucking moron.
Matt, I'm going to call 911. Do you want to reach for a cop service weapon at the same time as me?
Fuck. We're going to turn into demons like fucking Evil Dead
In
now.
the mouth of madness.
Shit.
This is the Necronomicon.
Oh,
right here.
God damn it.
dude.
Do you
That
read
sucks so
Ms.
much.
Magic? Do you read Sutter Kane?
Oh,
Do you think Ms. Magic is aware of logic, Felix?
I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to
I'm
think
talking about
it.
the rapper,
I know.
not
I
the
don't want to
concept.
think about it at all. I don't want to. I don't like it. I don't like where this is going. I know I said this to a lot of cursed places.
My mind is a blade, stabbing with the metaphors of the corporation across the nation.
Oh, I made a really bad white guy rap this week. Do you want to hear
Yeah,
it?
let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do our own Ms. Magic
Okay,
session.
okay. Sorry, I have to pull it up. When I'm hysterical, I'm electrical. Sean Patrick like powder. I'm powerful. You've got bars. I've got an Eiffel Tower full. I told you it was bad. I told you it sucked. I told you you'd fucking hate it so much.
Here's the end.
Did you hear Michael's SoundCloud rap, white guy SoundCloud rap on the stream?
No, I didn't hear it.
This shit hurts, and I know that it's true. Smoking on that hoobastank, and the reason is you.
All right, here's the end of Ms. Magic. As the music swirled, Charles Eisenstein, a proponent of what he calls sacred economics, talked about the unending human injury to Mother Earth. If you knew she could feel, would you stop? He said. When his monologue wound down, Ms. Magic rose and began a Nora Jones-style ballad, picking up phrases from Mr. Eisenstein's talk. If we believed, she sang in a soulful jazz scat, that me and the river were the same, would it change my ways?
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Oh my
at
God.
first
I felt a fucking cat crawl over my soul.
This is mind.
No, that was Marty.
This is fucking Mindheads from Bowfinger.
Oh my God. That was
Jesus
chilling.
Christ.
It's fucking 70 degrees here and I see the breath in front of my face after hearing that. Fuck
This
me.
is darker than Jim Jordan or Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, we little behind the scenes, like we were like, okay, what are we gonna do after this segment? And we had like two options. I was like, oh, that'll be like a fun tone shift. Like it will be, we just went pretty
on the lighter
heavy.
side.
Yeah. And
Instead, we just fell into a fucking dungeon of horrors.
yeah. Oh my god.
At first, the audience sat silent, seemingly puzzled, but slowly people began to clap their hands and sway to the beat. A man with a floppy hat and wizard-like robe began to gyrate wildly around the dance
Sure he
floor.
did.
It's Burning Man in Chelsea, one observer said. Ooh. And that's it. That's
Well,
that
awesome.
is gonna leave
That's
a
what
mark.
people are into.
I'm never
you know?
going to sleep again.
Yeah.
Sleep
Ooh.
no more. Another goofy thing rich people are into.
Oh, they love that shit. I love to get groped by a guy in a mask.
It's Shakespeare, Matt. Come on.
Sucks. Get out of here with that.
I was just thinking about the Donald Trump. My dad gives great brain page.
Okay.
It's called Good Genes.
So let's talk about this this Facebook article because it is a really, in my opinion, a fairly stunning portrait of what we were talking about, of these gigantic mega tech corporations and their rather absurd and hilarious influence over our government and the completely half-assed and bird-brained attempts to regulate them. Imagine that. Mm-hmm. So this is how the article begins. Sheryl Sandberg was seething. Inside Facebook's Menlo Park, California headquarters, top executives gathered.
She's mad because it was called Menlo and not Women Low.
Top executives gathered in the glass-walled conference room of its founder, Mark Zuckerberg. It was September 2017, more than a year after Facebook engineers discovered suspicious Russian-linked activity on its site, an early warning of the Kremlin campaign to disrupt the 2016 American election. But it wasn't the looming disaster at Facebook that angered Ms. Sandberg. It was the social network's security chief, Alex Stamos, who had informed the company board members the day before that Facebook had yet to contain the Russian infestation. Mr. Stamos' briefing had prompted a humiliating boardroom interrogation of Ms. Sandberg, Facebook's chief operating officer, and her billionaire boss. She appeared to regard the admission as a betrayal. "You threw us under the bus," she yelled at Mr. Stamos, according to people who were present. Just imagine this is Adolf Hitler's bunker, but all the walls are glass, and it's called like the Redwood Conference Center instead of like the Eagle's Nest or something.
Oh man, I would love to drink arsenic that was made in a juicero.
Going on here, it says, in Washington, allies of Facebook, including Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democratic Senate leader, intervened on its behalf. And Ms. Sandberg wooed or cajoled hostile lawmakers while trying to dispel Facebook's reputation as a bastion of Bay Area liberalism. While Zuckerberg conducted a public apology tour in the last year, Ms. Sandberg had overseen an aggressive lobbying campaign to combat Facebook's critics, shift public anger toward rival companies, and ward off damaging regulation. Facebook employed a Republican opposition research firm to discredit activist protesters, in part by linking them to liberal financier George Soros. It also tapped its business relationships, lobbying a Jewish civil rights group to cast some criticism of the company as anti-Semitic. So let's start with that. Mm-hmm. The Republican-led PR firm that they hired is linked to Tim Miller, who is a member of the Pod Save America crooked media empire, and the name of this firm is called Definers.
Okay.
Oh man, DC is just that entire world of Republicans.
Why is everything actually RoboCop now, though? Like, why does everything sound like RoboCop?
But it's
now?
like less creative than the people in RoboCop. Like, decide what the fuck?
Yeah, no, if you wrote that on the script and said, yeah, they're called definers, Verhoeven would kick you in the balls and say, try again.
Yeah, it sounds like a note.
That's hack work.
It sounds like a placeholder that they put in like the definers, and then they're like, okay, we'll fix that. Obviously, that's stupid. We'll fix that later in rewrites. But then they just never did.
Yeah, my GOP consulting firm, Idea Brain, comes up with brilliant ideas like George Soros is a fucking Jew. Like, it's like you're literally just paying. We're going to get to our favorite supporting character in this in a second. But you're paying the guy with the fuck my shit up guy haircut from the John podcast to just be your uncle. That's just your uncle that you don't want to talk to. And they have the same ideas.
In October 2017, Facebook expanded its work with Washington-based consultant Definers Public Affairs that had originally been hired to monitor press coverage of the company. Founded by veterans of Republican presidential politics, Definers specialized in applying political campaign tactics to corporate public relations, an approach long employed in Washington by big telecommunications firms and activist hedge fund managers, but less common in tech. Definers had established a Silicon Valley outpost earlier that year, led by Tim Miller, a former spokesman for Jeb Bush, who preached the virtues of campaign-style opposition research. For tech firms, he argued in one interview, a goal should be to have, quote, positive content pushed out about your company and negative content that's pushed out about your competitor. Imagine paying for that kind of advice.
Yeah. I bet on his resume he said, I came up with the exclamation point.
It just like, I'm not even anyone who's shocked by this. You're just a precious little baby. I mean, you literally think that Jeb would be that much different than the president we have now because he was just sort of an affable nerd to you. But the more offensive thing to me, really, is that Tim Miller is such a completely perfunctory person. You could just find a middle schooler who calls his enemy gay, and he would have the same advice as this fucking non-entity.
Well, obviously, John, and Jean are taking a little bit of heat about this right now because the one good Republican that they hired, I think, quote in their words, I think they said, we don't agree with Tim. He worked against Obama in 2 presidential campaigns, but he has important thoughts about the Republican Party in the age of Trump.
Who? Yeah, you can't find that literally anywhere else. You can't open up literally any fucking newspaper in America and find all the Republicans who are exactly like this fucking moron. It just who
he's another Trumper, which means he has nothing to say about anyone. He has nothing influential or interesting to say about anything. And in this, he shows that all of that veneer falls away as soon as somebody's money's on the line. Somebody's going to say a bad thing about Facebook, and all of a sudden this horror, it's stirring up anti-Semitism, doesn't really mean anything.
But it's just like, you found a Republican who unfavorably compares this guy to Ronald Reagan. Oh my God! Wait till I pull a nickel out of your fucking ear. That still surprises you, you fucking stupid baby.
Listen to this.
It's so fucking dumb.
It's got to be cynical, though, right? They can't possibly think like they have. Like he has important thoughts, which, by the way, is about to be the name of a think tank.
So, I mean, obviously, like the big pull from this is that the one of the Pod Save America guys is literally running a Republican PR firm that's like, Facebook's critics, they're Jews. I think you need to but listen to this. This is more interesting in my opinion. Facebook quickly adopted that strategy. That strategy being have positive content published about your company and negative content published about your competitor. So listen to this. In November 2017, the social network came out in favor of a bill called the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act, which made internet companies responsible for sex trafficking ads on their sites. Google and others had fought the bill for months, worrying it would set a cumbersome precedent. But the sex trafficking bill was championed by Senator John Thune, a Republican of South Dakota who had pummeled Facebook over accusations that it censored conservative content, and Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Connecticut Democrat and senior Commerce Committee member who is a frequent critic of Facebook. Facebook broke ranks with other tech companies, hoping the move would help repair relations on both sides of the aisle, said 2 congressional staffers and 3 tech industry officials. When the bill came to a vote in the House in February, Ms. Sandberg offered a public support online, urging Congress to, quote, make sure we pass meaningful and strong legislation to stop sex trafficking.
That's really what they were worried about, it looks like.
Yeah.
They're really worried about that sex trafficking.
Yeah.
All right, so listen to this. This is another point in the article where they're talking about like when the Cambridge Analytica stuff broke and people were, again, mad at Facebook that they were selling all their data to this fucking shady company with unsavory associations. And this is to the strategy of like contrasting yourself with your competitors. Like Apple was getting in on it. And Tim Cook said in an MSNBC interview, we're not going to traffic in your personal life. Privacy to us is a human right. It's a civil liberty. Mr. Cook's criticisms infuriated Mr. Zuckerberg, who later ordered his management team to use only Android phones, arguing that the operating system had far more users than Apple's. Facebook scrambled anew. Executives quietly shelved an internal communications campaign called We Get It, meant to assure employees that the company was committed to getting back on track in 2018. Then Facebook
They had originally gone with Our Bad, but decided it had bad optics.
Then Facebook went on the offensive. Mr. Kaplan prevailed on Ms. Sandberg to promote Kevin Martin, a former FCC chairman and fellow Bush administration veteran, to lead the company's American lobbying efforts. Facebook also expanded its work with definers. On a conservative news site called NTK Network, dozens of articles blasted Google and Apple for unsavory business practices. One story called Mr. Cook hypocritical for chiding Facebook over privacy, noting that Apple also collects reams of data from users. Another played down the impact of the Russians' use of Facebook. The rash of news coverage was no accident. NTK is an affiliate of Definers, sharing offices and staff with the public relations firm in Arlington, Virginia. Many NTK network stories were written by staff members at Definers or America Rising, the company's political opposition research arm to attack their clients' enemies. While the NTK network does not have a large audience of its own, its content is frequently picked up by popular conservative outlets, including Breitbart. Wow, amazing how that works. How these,
Breitbart, friend of the pod.
Yeah, how 4 people in an office in Arlington, Virginia can just publish an article, Tim Cook supports sex trafficking and is gay as hell. And then that article, they hit publish, and then it gets picked up by this network of conservative blogs and news outlets. Interesting. Mr. Miller acknowledged that Facebook and Apple do not directly compete. Definer's work on Apple is funded by a third technology company, he said, but Facebook has pushed back against Apple because Mr. Cook's criticism upset Facebook. Here's where it gets really funny. Hold on.
Facebook angry. That's amazing. It's become sentient. It's like Hal.
Oh my God. If Facebook, the Matrix is just Facebook, that means that Michael and Tom's Facebook guys will be Neo and Morpheus.
All right.
They're all Joey Pants.
Yeah. Yo, I want to come back as fucking Justin Verlander, dude.
Yo, all I see is Kate Upton. This
is where it gets good, though. By then, I'm skipping ahead now. Some of the harshest criticism of Facebook was coming from the political left, where activists and policy experts had begun calling for the company to be broken up. I would like to call for that again right now. I think it should be nationalized and then shuttered.
You're going to get sniped as soon as you walk out of my apartment.
No, I just want to say, big fan of Facebook. You guys keep killing it. You guys are the reason that people all over the world can connect with people at the tip of their fingers. We love it.
Please don't hurt
me.
us.
I'm getting new internet next week. I just want to play for it.
But seriously, though, we're talking about what things the state could do. Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon should all be nationalized.
Yeah,
they should all be taken over by the state
100%.
immediately.
Yeah.
In July, organizers with a coalition called Freedom from Facebook crashed a hearing of the House Judiciary Committee where a company executive was testifying about its policies. As the executive spoke, the organizers held aloft signs depicting Ms. Sandberg and Mr. Zuckerberg, who are both Jewish, as two heads of an octopus stretching around the globe. Eddie Vail, I wonder if you can guess where this is going. Eddie Vail, a Democratic public relations strategist who led the protest, later said the image was meant to evoke old cartoons of Standard Oil, the Gilded Age monopoly. But a Facebook official quickly called the Anti-Defamation League, a leading Jewish civil rights organization, to flag the sign. Facebook and other tech companies had partnered with the civil rights group since late 2017 on an initiative to combat anti-Semitism and hate speech online. That afternoon, the ADL issued a warning from its Twitter account. Depicting Jews as an octopus encircling the globe is a classic anti-Semitic trope, the organization wrote. Protest Facebook or anyone all you want, but pick a different image. The criticism was soon echoed in conservative outlets, including the Washington Free Beacon, which has sought to tie freedom from Facebook to what the publication calls extreme anti-Israel groups. So keep this in mind. It just came out this week that Facebook was literally allowing people to advertise and make money to anyone who is interested in hashtag white genocide. And this is their efforts to combat anti-Semitism and hate speech on their platform. it ends up getting the ADL to co-sign some bullshit about how protesting their monopolistic practices and oligarchic tendencies is anti-Semitic. That's how seriously these people take anti-Semitism.
Well, I would urge you guys not to take this lightly because my ancestors were killed and had to flee Europe because they were just trying to build a good data algorithm in the 1890s.
Here's what else Definers was up to. A research document circulated by Definers to reporters this summer, just a month after the House hearing, cast Mr. Soros as the unacknowledged force behind what appeared to be a broad anti-Facebook movement. Definers pressed reporters to explore the financial connections between Mr. Soros' family or philanthropies and groups that were members of Freedom from Facebook, such as Color of Change, an online racial justice organization, as well as a progressive group founded by Mr. Soros' son. Definers also circulated research about other critics of Facebook, such as Diamond and Silk, the pro-Trump social media stars who had claimed they were treated unfairly by Facebook. In at least one instance, the company also relied on Mr. Schumer, the New York senator and Senate Democratic leader. He has a long work to advance Silicon Valley's interests on issues such as commercial drone regulations and patent reform. During the 2016 election cycle, he raised more money from Facebook employees than any other member of Congress. Mr. Schumer also has a personal connection to Facebook. His daughter, Allison, joined the firm out of college and is now a marketing manager in Facebook's New York office. In July, as Facebook's troubles threatened to cost the company billions of dollars in market value, Mr. Schumer confronted Mr. Warner, that's Mark Warner, senator from Virginia, by then Facebook's most insistent inquisitor in Congress. Back off, he told Mr. Warner, according to a Facebook employee briefed on Mr. Schumer's intervention. Mr. Warner should be looking for ways to work with Facebook, Mr. Schumer advised, not harm it. Now, this is now this is the Senate Minority Leader, keep in mind, Chuck Schumer, the senator from New York. This is about that thing about his daughter and telling Mark Warner to now, come on, take it easy. We want to work with Facebook, not against them. This is about as close to just textbook old style graft and corruption as these things usually get.
I mean, it just is. I mean, you know what's really amazing? You can't even put it into numbers. How many people's lives have been made worse because our senators and our governors, our representatives can't make an extra phone call to get their kid a fake job. It just has to be that much easier. The world is just immeasurably worse for this.
Taken as a whole, I would recommend reading the whole article, but taking it as a whole, it reveals both how basically nobody either in Facebook or
Capital has no conscience.
Well, not
That's
that
too long. Don't read.
It's not that it doesn't have a conscience. Is that this is all just Keystone Cop shit from the Facebook boardroom to anyone on Washington who's trying to regulate them or figure out what Russia did to infect the election or hate speech or how they're using your data for nefarious purposes. It just seems to me that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And this is all just Keystone Cop bullshit. But it appears, they know what they're doing in so much as they don't want to be regulated in any meaningful way. And
of course.
And they seem to be getting their way as far as that goes. But they just keep the company scrapped its initial initiative called We'll Get Better. I got you, fam. And not our best look.
Yeah, but you say that, but is there any repercussion for them? That just sounds like they're Facebook is fine. Nothing's going to happen to Facebook.
Yeah, no, they will be fine.
No, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're not. Nothing is going to happen to them.
Their incompetence will, not hurt them in any way. They're just that big.
But the interesting subtext here is the whole anti-Semitism thing, and George Soros got a pipe bomb mailed to him the other week. But the ways in which the ADL and then Breitbart and the Washington Free Beacon,
it's completely cynical.
And the ways Breitbart, for instance, is just openly anti-Semitic. As close to the alt-right is a foothold in media, it would be Breitbart and the Daily Caller. Mm. But then the Washington Free Beacon just hopping on this gravy train to pretend that protesting Facebook is anti-Semitic because you used an octopus to portray their, corruption and sort of blanketing of the globe.
Hey, Will.
What?
And Matt and Amber, Chris, and all the listeners, check this out. Schindler's Friend List. Can I get an okay? Now this is epic.
Simply this, sir. But yeah, I mean, I think this is and then with Schumer with his daughter, and then like all these, the way they're angry at Apple, and then they put out we're for the Stop Sex Trafficking Act, unlike Google and Apple. Like, this is just a really farcical portrayal of just how media and consulting and PR and government really actually works.
Well,
and Facebook is not going to stop selling your data or profiting off the dissemination of hate speech or I don't know, anything.
Well, thing you can look forward to is selling yourself as a mercenary in the war between large tech companies. That is the future. Posting is the new warfare, and the new Blackwater are the best posters. So look forward to it. Hone your skills in the battlefield and get ready to sell them to the highest bidder. You could be the online equivalent of the Colombian mercenaries the Saudis paid to continue to lose their war in Yemen.